She's joined us at a few of our Inforum meetings. We're really, really glad that she's joined us today. She's a powerful speaker, and obviously the topic is one that has a lot of meaning for us right now. I don't know anybody who hasn't experienced some form of chaos since the middle of March in their family, their immediate family, their extended family, their personal life, their business. So we're going to turn this over to Nancy, who's going to help us get calm. Right, Nancy? Please.
I am. Thank you so much for having me today. And it is so great to see so many familiar faces from all of my phases of life, including the fact that I just reconnected with someone from my hometown whose mom was not my kindergarten teacher, but my sister's kindergarten teacher. So you never know who you are going to reconnect with or meet in these Zoom sessions. So again, thank you for having me. What I'm wondering to start off with is how many of you at times think you are this far from losing it? So look to your left, look to the right. We're in great company. We're in such great company. And I am going to be walking the talk. I had to walk the talk all week, actually, because on Monday morning, I felt like I was going to have to cancel this session. I was pretty convinced that I had COVID. Anybody that was talking to me on the phone or in video chat was saying, oh my gosh, I think you have COVID. I do not have COVID. I had some bizarre respiratory, one of the other gazillion things that go around every year when we don't have a pandemic going on. So I had ample opportunity to really walk the talk, and I see a number of my fellow coaches on here as well. Sometimes it is so much easier for us to talk the talk, a little bit more difficult to walk the talk. So everything that I'm going to talk to you about today are things that I put into place the past 6 days as I have been recovering from whatever respiratory virus this actually was. I have a lot of experience walking the talk when it comes to things that can be anxiety provoking. My best friend, constant companion for as long as I can remember, called A+. I gave my anxiety a name. It is either my superpower or it's my kryptonite. And I decided that years ago, I was going to start to look at it as a superpower that could be kryptonite, because I can go from 0 to doomsday in 3.5 seconds. And that is not the way that I want to live. And I know that a lot of you are experiencing anxiety during this time, if you haven't ever before in your life. And so I'm here to help. Now, I know we have some people here today who are going to be the, do not give me any woo-woo. I want science, I want facts, okay? I'm here for you. We mentioned the DISC profile. I'm a certified DISC facilitator. So I take all of the DISC styles into account when I do a workshop. So for those C's, you're going to be saying, I don't want woo-woo, I want tried and true. For the I's and the D's, you're going to be saying, give me something I can use and put into practice. For the I's and the S's, you're going to be saying, and I think a lot of us are saying, I don't want to feel alone. I want to know that I'm not the only one dealing with some of this stuff. And so I'm going to hit all of those with techniques that you can do in a minute or two. And I'm going to do that all in the next 15 minutes. So challenge accepted. You guys ready? Okay, you look ready. All right, so the first is that whenever we get overwhelmed, and I work a lot with people who feel overwhelmed, whether it's overwhelmed by what to make for dinner or what career to go in. And I like to start with breathing, and we've all heard it. We've all heard just breathe. just breathe. And for the longest time, I was like, okay, no, it's not. But then I found a technique that is used by Navy SEALs, first responders, anyone in high pressure situations that need to remain calm and focused. So I think that qualifies any single human living being in 2020. And that is called box breathing. And one of the reasons why it works so well is because a lot of times when we're feeling under stress, when we feel like we might be like we're going to lose it, it's our brain in fight or flight mode, and it's trying to protect us. But our dear, lovely brain, which was put into motion first a gazillion and a half years ago, when we were running away from lions and things that wanted us for lunch, really hasn't evolved all that far. So it still likes to operate on basic survival instincts. But the reality is a lot of times we're not running away from lions anymore. And I'm not minimizing anything that anybody is going through right now. I like to call myself an optimistic realist. I operate in reality. And then what do we do with that reality to move forward in a positive way? So when we do the box breathing, it is very simple. So I'm going to walk you through this. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. And we're going to in for 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold for 4, 2, 3, 4, out for 4, 2, 3, 4, hold for 4, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, hold, 2, 3, 4. Open your eyes. What did just that very simple 2 round of breathing feel like? Danielle's saying, I already feel relaxed. This is my go-to because it keeps the active part of the brain, the thinking part of the brain busy while it relaxes the parasympathetic nervous system. And really, I took you through that a little more quickly than you probably normally would. And I'm gonna blame 2 cups of coffee on that. But you go through that 3 or 4 times, you can do it in less than a minute, and it sets your mind up to be able to already look at things a little more clearly than you previously were able to. Another tried and true technique for grounding that I love is called the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding. And if you're familiar with it, do is whenever your head is in that spiraling mode, you look at 5 things you can see. You look around you, 5 things that you can see. I can see all of your amazing faces. I can see the golf course outside my window. 5 things that you can see. 4 things that you can feel. Warm coffee or tea. My favorite comfy sweater. I don't know about any of you, but since we've moved to a more virtual role, cotton and comfy clothes are my best friend. Love them. 3 things you can hear. Might be the dog, might be your kids. I can hear the ticking of the clock right next to me. 2 things you can taste. This one is sometimes a little bit challenging for me, but coffee works. And 1 thing that you can smell. Coffee, hopefully it's not your dog. 1 thing that you can smell. And again, that takes our brain out of the mode and focuses us more on the present minute. And what I like to do is I like to set up my work environment for that. I've got you've got this. We'll get into some positive affirmations a little bit later. I've got my coffee mug, which says, let your faith be bigger than your fear. Has my favorite, oh, Pilates. Oh, hell no. I thought you said pie and lattes. Oh my gosh, Brenda. Yes, I love that one. That is awesome. Awesome. Some days I have my, why you all trying to just test the Jesus in me mug? Because some days just call for this mug. And probably one of my favorites is my cinnamon apple candle from Everybody by Dutton Farm. Something you can smell. I can also see it. I can see that Haley, an adult with special needs, made this candle. You can create that environment to keep you grounded, to better prepare you to be able to more clearly think about what really is in front of you, what you need to be tackling first, because overwhelm is coming at us at all angles. And I don't know about you, but sometimes overwhelm feels so heavy. And then I get just a slight burst of energy, maybe from, my candle, and that pops me right into, oh, hell no. Oh, hell no, overwhelm. You don't get to win today. Which then can take us into the next, after breathe, is what I like to call take out the head trash. So take out your trash on a regular basis. I encourage everyone to take out the head trash on a daily basis. And the reason for that is that our brains are wired to be prone to a negativity bias, which means we tend to hold more tightly to negative experiences and emotions than to positive ones. And again, that goes back to the reptilian brain of, I have to remember this one bad thing in case I'm ever faced with the situation again. I know that it is time for me to run. On average, we have between 12,000 and 60,000 thoughts a day, 80% of which are negative, according to the National Science Foundation. And if any of you, particularly your C personality styles who love data, and you want to say, Nancy, show me where you got those statistics, I got that. Not a problem with that at all. So I'm going to lead you through an exercise on just really proving that how much the negativity bias can work and affect us and the negative thoughts. So I'm going to ask everybody, if they can, to kind of move away from their screen, point forward. Okay, think of everything that is overwhelming you today. I'm so far behind because I was sick. I had to cancel so many meetings this week. I am never going to keep up. I can't handle this. All right, watch, take your finger to the right, going, or to the left, depending on which hand, going all the way as far as you can behind you. And note where your finger is at in a spot that you can remember. Okay, let's bring it back to the front again. I'm awesome. I got this. I have survived 100% of anything that has been thrown at me. I am amazing. There is nothing I can't handle. I have an amazing support system that backs me up. I got this. All right. Take your finger back around again. Where did it go? Did it go to that exact same spot? Did it go further? Every time I have tried this, and the first time I did it, I was very skeptical. I was like, and Rebecca might be able to jump in. I was just kind of like, oh, well, the first time got my shoulder warmed up, and that's why it. So I've tested it also by going back and going into the negative thoughts again and taking my arm back and really, really trying to, okay, I'm wrenching it. I'm gonna, every single time I've ever done it, I don't know how it works. I don't know why it works. Scientists far smarter than me probably do, but it works. So that tells me the power of how thinking and reframing can help us prepare better to meet the challenges ahead of us. Another thing that when we take out the head trash, I'm going to really implore each and every single one of you to please stop shooting all over yourself. That is one of the worst things that we do. I should. How many of you do that? Just kind of wave at me, do jazz hands. Oh yeah, I'm seeing lots of jazz hands. I heard a speaker over the weekend, one of my favorite go-to thought challengers. His name is Rob Bell. And he was talking about shoulding all over ourselves. And he said, should implies that there is a baseline, that there is something that we can compare to. And I don't know how many of you have ever through a pandemic with so much social unrest and one of the most challenging election cycles that anybody I know that is alive has ever seen. There is no baseline. There is no, so you should be as compared to what? This is, as I was prepping for this, I was like, these are trying times. It's like, no, I'm tired of that phrase. I don't know how many others of you are tired of these trying times. Yes, they're trying, but these defining times. So now I'm going to ask you, what is one thing you need to let go of? What is one should that you need to let go of? And I'm seeing Rebecca saying, feeling guilty about not getting things done while your business was closed. But accepting after we're all going to go through some level of trauma, you stop feeling so guilty. Stop comparing myself to my cohorts that were doing all the things. Yes. Stop comparing yourself to others. There is no one like you. And that is not we put in the little blurb that went out about the quotes. And I love me some quotes. I do. I really love quotes. But I'm not really into all that much about rah, 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 rah. But one thing that I am certain of is there is no comparison. There is no one as uniquely qualified as each and every single one of us are. And believe me, I have to say this to myself multiple times a week as I get on LinkedIn and I look at other coaches who appear to be just, nailing it much better than I have. That they're not me and your competition is not you. So keep that in mind. And Andrea is saying, stop thinking you should be further along than I am. Who else here, jazz hands again, has those feelings of I should be further along than I am? Okay, let's let go of that should right now. We're right where we are, and right where we need to be. And I really, really and firmly believe that. Okay, so the final thing in the last couple of minutes that I have that I want to leave you with is once we lay down the shoulds and we're aware of the negativity bias, then what do we do about it? And research shows, don't freak out on me here because this is easier than it's going to sound, that we have to flip to a 5-to-1 ratio of positive thoughts to negative ones. That may seem like a whole lot, but there's one real good path to it, and that's gratitude. There are so many studies on the impact of gratitude on well-being. They cannot be dismissed at all. And it's possible during even some of the most difficult circumstances. One of my favorite stories about Sheryl Sandberg, COO of Facebook. And if you haven't read the book that she's done with Adam Grant, my professional crush, Adam Grant, save that for future reference. He's amazing, is called Option B, and it's about resilience and adversity. And I believe it was her brother-in-law, after her husband Dave had died suddenly of a heart attack while on a treadmill on vacation, and she was going through the grieving process. And he said something to the effect of, what do you have to be grateful for? The equivalent of it could be worse. And she's like, are you kidding me? My husband just died suddenly, and you're asking me to be grateful? And he said, there is always something to be grateful. And she stopped and she thought, yeah, Dave could have had the heart attack while he was driving with the kids in the car, and I could have lost my whole family. Mm-hmm. So gratitude. And as I was getting ready this morning, I was again walking the talk. What am I grateful for? And I want you to put in the chat that what are you grateful for today? Just a couple of things for me. One, I can breathe. I'm Maureen from the American Lung Association. I know you're here. You probably hear this all the time, people who are grateful to breathe. That's a pretty heavy one. Some lighter things. I'm grateful I didn't have to iron my cardigan today because we're not in person. You can't tell that my cardigan is wrinkled. I didn't have to completely blow dry my hair this morning. Simple little, because you can't see the back of my head. Simple little things along with the big things. So I am going to pause and look at the chat and allow it to open up for questions. I know I went 2 minutes over my 15 minutes, but I hope you'll indulge me. And so I'm going to open it up for questions and whatever else.
Oops. All right, Stella, do you want to take this, or do you want me to do this part? Let's see if Stella can unmute herself here. I'm going to stop the recording right now, just so y'all know. So
Go ahead,
thank you
Brenda.
everybody for watching.